Before we get into the video, guys, I want to tell you about a huge NHL 18 tournament going on over at World Gaming. It's the NHL 18 Snyder Hockey Cup. It's for the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey Foundation. $17,500 in prizes, and it's free to enter. It's open to US and Canadian residents that are at least 14 years of age, and that includes Quebec. It starts off with an online qualifier, then online playoffs, and finally the finals are actually going to be played live in Philadelphia. 2 finalists for each console, both Xbox One and PS4. And if you become one of the finalists, you'll actually be playing at Xfinity Live in Philadelphia before a Penguins-Flyers game on March 7th. I highly recommend you guys checking it out. Registration is now open and qualifiers start on January 10th. If you're interested in signing up or just want more information, click the link in the description. Should be an awesome tournament. How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be simulating the 2018 NHL All-Star Game and seeing who EA predicts is going to win it. First off, I figured I'd show you guys the rosters. EA just updated them, so they have all the new players that made it on the All-Star teams, plus some extra players, as obviously there's not enough from the 3-on-3 teams to fill out an entire team. And unfortunately, there's no way to actually just, simulate a 3-on-3 game. NHL 3s, you can only have the 3 players plus 2 subs. You can't have the entire roster. So we're gonna actually have to simulate it 5-on-5. Unfortunately, that's our only option, so we're just gonna have to make do. But like I was saying, I want to show you guys these lines. I've already gone through and just edited them, just kind of make them a bit better, where I think they're more balanced. Plus, I try to put different line mates together, because I feel like that's probably what they're going to do. Looking at Team Atlantic here, it's pretty stacked, honestly. You got Barkov, Stamkos, Kucherov on the first line, Pastrnak, Matthews, Marchand on the second. So you can see, obviously, Tampa connection on the first line, Boston on the second. Larkin, Eichel, Stone on the third, and then Point, Trocheck, and Huberdeau on the fourth. Could have went with an all-Tampa line if I threw Point on the first line there and put Barkov on the fourth, but Barkov's just on another level compared to Point, so I didn't really think it made sense. Defense here, you got Hedman, Carlson, McAvoy, Riley, and then Yandel and Green. Obviously, with Hedman in the lineup, not going to take injuries into consideration. And it's actually pretty crazy how accurate EA was with the extra players they added. When Hedman went down, I think the first sub was probably going to be Riley, who also ended up getting injured, and then the second was McAvoy, who also got injured. And then, of course, Point took his spot. So, really, these rosters are pretty accurate. Plus, too, I don't think I mentioned the ratings. So, as you guys can see here, obviously, all these teams are going to be stacked. Atlantic All-Stars, 100 offense, 95 defense, 96 goaltending. Moving on to the Central All-Stars, they have 100 offense as well, 97 defense, and 93 goaltending. Best player, obviously, there is Patrick Kane. So we're going to take a look at this team. Once I look at all the teams, I'm going to kind of make my prediction on who I think will win it, and then we'll go and simulate. So Team Central here might have the best offense. It's either them or the Metro. They've got Ben, Sagan, and Kane on the first line. So that's an absolutely stacked first line. Same with the second. Tarasenko, Scheifele, and Wheeler. So a couple stars on the first, a couple Jets on the second. Then you got Rantanen, McKinnon, and Shen. So a couple of Habs on the third. And then fourth here, you got Radulov, Stahl, and Granlund. So a couple wild players on the fourth line. I just realized too, the right wing is the only one that has a different team, where the left wing and center, it's all the same team. So that's kind of cool, I guess. We'll see how it works out for the Central team. Defense here, Suter, Pietrangelo, Subban, Yossi, and then Barry and Klingberg. A couple Preds, obviously, on the second pair. And then in goal, where is it there? Rene is the starting goaltender. Hellbeck backing him up. I just realized I forgot to show the Atlantic goalies. I'll do that right now real quick. As you guys can see, Atlantic here has Price as their starter with Vasilevsky backing him up. So they get the best goalie in the game to be their starter with, pretty sick offense. Questionable defense, though. Defense is definitely Atlantic's weak point. Now we have the Metro team, so this is the reigning champ. I think the Pacific and the Metro are the only 2 divisions so far that have won it, so maybe the Central or the Atlantic can finally win it for the first time. It would be pretty cool, I guess, if Atlantic won it. Tampa winning in front of their home crowd is that team's got 4 Tampa players on it. Metro here, though, their offense, their top 6 is probably the best top 6. Definitely have the best first line. Ovi, Crosby, and Malkin. That's just so stacked. Everyone's 92 plus. I love too. You got Ovi and Crosby, 2 huge rivals, and then you have Malkin, who kind of brings them both together. Obviously, Malkin plays with Crosby on the Penguins, and then Malkin plays with Ovi on Russia. So I don't know. I think the dynamic there is pretty cool. That's one of the things I find really interesting about the All-Star game, just how the different All-Stars kind of play together. Second line here, you got Kessel, Tavares, and Hull. So another solid line. Panarin, Giroux, and Voracek on the third, and then Lee, Barzell, and Bailey on the fourth. So an all-Islanders fourth line. Obviously, they're having a pretty good year in terms of offense, at least. Defense here, you have Carlson, who I think was a huge snub. Should have taken the place of Letang, who obviously is on the team. Jones and Ghost on the second pair, and then Hannafin, Butcher there on the third pair. And then in goal here for the Metro, you got Holtby as a starter, and Lundqvist there backing him up. I think that's probably the best tandem. How much, though, the backup goalie will play in like a tournament simulation. I don't know. I don't even know if he'll actually play. Also, 2 for their stats, 100 offense, 94 defense, and 95 goaltending. And then final team here, the Pacific, only team without 100 offense. They have 99 there, 98 D though, which, yeah, is the highest rated D. And then 91 goaltending, which is also the lowest rated goaltending. So, although they have the best D, they have the worst offense and goaltending. So, I'm not too high on the Pacific. I'll show you guys their lineup right here. They do have, obviously, one of the 2 best players in the game in McDavid. First line there, he's playing with Gaudreau and Draisaitl. So, I mean, it's a pretty sick first line. Second line here, you got Monahan, Kopitar, and Raquel. Third line, you have Keller, Couture, and Besser. And then fourth here is an all-Vegas line, similar to the all-Islanders line. Marchessault, Carlson, and Neal. So, that should be pretty interesting. Defense here, Burns and Dougie on the top pair is pretty stacked for a first pair. Ekman Larson, Giordano on the second, and then Muzzin and Manson on the third. And then in goal here for the Pacific, you have Quick starting with Fleury backing him up. So, looking through all the teams there, looking at the ratings, I feel like it's going to be a Metro... I don't know, I was actually going to say it's going to be a Metro Atlantic final, but that can't happen. That's both teams in the East. Those are the 2 teams I think are honestly the best. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be a Central Metro final with Metro winning it back-to-back years. That offense is just too good. Holtby and net, they have a strong defense. Let's see what happens. So here's the rules for the simulation, guys. Obviously, we have 4 teams. I'm making the rounds a best of 3. It could be a single knockout like it is in real life, but I figured best of 3 be a little bit more interesting. Also, hopefully, it'll give us more accurate results. That way, if there's like a fluke in the first game, the best of 3 can hopefully kind of fix that. Period length, 7 minutes. The All-Star game, they do 2 10-minute halves, so 3 7-minute periods, 21 minutes, the closest we can get. Playoff tiebreak, right to the shootout. That's how it's in the All-Star game, so that'll be very interesting to see what happens there. And of course, I have the difficulty set to Superstar and the game style set to Full Sim, just to give us the most authentic gameplay possible. And right there, you guys can see the bracket. Obviously, pretty self-explanatory. Central and Pacific on the west side, Atlantic and the Metro on the east side. So I'll just sim period by period. See maybe if there's like a unsung hero here who just kind of carries their team through the All-Star games. So we'll simulate here. See what happens. If there is like a shootout or something in the final, I'll definitely jump in to watch that. Otherwise, probably we'll just see what happens here. So, first period, this is the Pacific Central. You got Kane and Draisaitl both scoring, so 1-1 game. Really wish like the NHL logos could have been different for each team, but that's okay. Kane gets another one there in the second, so putting the Central up 2-1. And Shen gets one in the third to close it out there. So, Central's up 1-0 there in the first round of their series. Next up, obviously, we have the Eastern matchup. So this is the Atlantic and the Metro. I'm pretty sure I picked Central and Metro to be the 2 winners, and then Metro to win it in the final back-to-back years. So here we go, Atlantic, Metro, nothing in the first. Ovechkin, Matthews, Riley, so a couple of Toronto guys. Atlantic actually has the lead there 2-1 after 2. And then Matthews again, wow. So Austin Matthews really wants Atlantic here to show up, I guess, in front of the home crowd. I'm assuming, of course, the home crowd will be going for the Atlantic, the team that has the Tampa players. So next up here, Game 2 of Central Pacific. First period, you got Draisaitl and Kane again. I think the same guys scoring, geez. Nothing in the second. And the third, so we're going to a shootout here. And the shootout winner is the Pacific. There we go. So that series actually all tied up 1-1. Game number 2 now of the Eastern matchup. First period, Ovi, Pasternak, Marchand. So now we got the Boston guys on Atlantic getting it done. Second period, Carlson gets one. Same with Stamkos. Atlantic is just destroying. And then Trocheck, Marchand, 6-1 win. Jeez. So originally I said I thought Atlantic, Metro were the 2 best teams. And I decided to go with the Metro. Looks like I should have went with the Atlantic. I think, you know, maybe in front of that home crowd, they're going to get it done this year. They sweep the Metro team there. And, I mean, that was a big win, that last one, 6-1. So, the tiebreaker here between the 2 Western teams. See who comes out on top playing the Atlantic team in the final. Draisaitl, Kopitar, so they're up 2-0, 1 period to go. McKinnon, Burns, Gaudreau still. Big 4-1 win there for Pacific. So, we have the Pacific and the Atlantic in the final. I called Central and Metro, so I got both wrong. But what are you going to do? So, here we go. Best of 3 in the final. Should be interesting here. First game, first period. Muzzin, Carlson, so 1-1. Besser, Burns, so Pacific there, big lead. And Marchessault gets another one, so 4-1 win there, Pacific. We'll see what happens here, game number 2. Can the Atlantic, you know, get at least 1 win here, make it a series, tie it up? Nothing in the first. Marchessault again. This guy's having a crazy year. And third period, here we go. No scores, so Pacific there win the championship game 1-0, and there you have it. All-Star Game champions, I should say. the Pacific All-Stars. So they won the first ever one with John Scott. Will they come back here and win it again this year? I don't know. That's what EA is predicting. I still think I might hold true with my pick of the Metro winning in real life. But, you know, Atlantic, maybe they're a dark horse. I don't know. It should be fun to watch. Also, guys, I figured I'd show you these stats from all the All-Star games. So Austin Matthews there was actually the leading scorer of the All-Star game. That's pretty cool. I'm sure all you Leafs fans will love that. Draisaitl there, second. 4 points. You got Burns there. I guess Pacific does have an advantage playing 5 games, but still, Matthews in only 4 games put up 5 points. He had an awesome tournament. Kane, Marchand, Kucherov, Hedman, all there with 3 points. Take a quick look, I guess, at the goalies, see what the best goalie was. So quick, 4-1. I mean, yeah, he had the best record. He even put up a shutout, and save percentage best by far. Holtby's .891. That 6-goal game definitely hurt him. Definitely let me know which team you guys think is going to win this weekend in the comments below. Other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Stay for more, guys. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Have a nice day. Goodbye.